Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Inconsequential Runner here, and today I'm saying goodbye to another pair of shoes. Been quite a few recently, and that is the Nike Zoom Fly 5. Put about 300 kilometers into the shoe, and probably mixed feelings about it. It did protect my legs quite well. So after an interval session, um, or some session where I was putting in a decent amount of works, my legs felt pretty good the next day. But on the other side of that, a little bit clumpy in terms of the feel. Now, that might be down to me and my running technique. Maybe I was not landing or at least kicking off on my toes as much as I could have. Probably a little bit close to midsole, midfoot, if not maybe a touch of a heel strike. And I don't think these shoes suit that purpose. When I got the most out of these shoes, I was running faster than 4 minute kilometers. And what that meant is I was a little bit more on my toes, and then that plate that's inside the shoe really starts to kick in because you're rolling over the top of your foot and you're really bending that plate, and it just gets that pop going. When you're running a bit slower, certainly I was running a bit slower than that, what would happen is it would clump, um, my body would pass over my foot, and I didn't have that pop right off the ball of my foot. I just sort of roll over the shoe, and that made it quite a bit harder to get something out of these shoes. And because of that too, what I did is I used that extra lace loop to get a runner's knot to really sort of clamp it onto my foot so it would bend a little bit more. Otherwise, the heel, the foot, the shoe didn't feel like it bent enough. But anyway, saying goodbye to these pairs of shoes, put 300 Ks in them. What I did do, and just excuse me, instead of using these shoes for the purpose that they were supposed to be used for, I found, here we go, I found the Streak Fly worked a little bit better for me in terms of light, nimble, and being able to get some good speed going during intervals. But yeah, these things can get chewed up quite quickly, so I do save it mainly for the track for that work. Um, Look, generally a good shoe, but I know a lot of people sent this shoe back, and I understand why. That clumpy, brick, clunky sort of feel certainly sort of came in the shoe when you did want something a little bit light and a bit more nimble than a daily trainer. It had a daily, it had a sluggish daily trainer feel, but with a plate. So yeah, where you probably want something where there's a real sort of degree of difference between your daily trainer and something like this, where you think this is the next step up. And if I accidentally pack this in my kit for race day and I forgot to pack my race shoes and I ended up with these, I'd be okay to race in these. I think that's a measure of this type of shoe, and this doesn't fall into that category. If I turned up on race day and I accidentally packed this shoe instead of my racing shoes, I mean, does it happen? Don't know. But if I did, I'd be disappointed because this is just not close enough to a race day shoe, and it's not distinct enough from a daily trainer to fit in that fall in that category. In terms of wear on the outsole was great, really grippy. So really talking about the midsole with a lot of this feedback. Outsole was great, really grippy. After 300 Ks, I don't know if you can see that really well, but there's a lot of outsole left. So this thing will go on for a while, but it's just not working for me. So what am I going to do with still a fresh looking pair of shoes? Because when you look at the heel cup, there's no wear there. Laces are great. Just a couple of crease lines as you'd expect with ZoomX in the midsole. Outsole is looking good. I've got to comment on this. With the insert here, sometimes on really wet days, this would actually form a vacuum seal on some surfaces. You could feel it just sort of vacuum seal and suck in. So the way to get around that, of course, is if there's a little bit of a channel, probably going towards the medial side of your foot, just sort of cut in there. That would take away from the vacuum seal this creates. Anyway, the shoe is in really good condition. So this is what I was going to say. What I tend to do with shoes like this is I donate them to those that aren't as in a privileged position as I to be able to buy new shoes and rotate through them. So I don't sell them, I donate them. So I suggest if you're the same, you get a pair of shoes, you try and live with them, you're 300 kilometers in them, and you found something better, donate them, give them away to someone who could make really good use out of them. And yeah, okay. So Zoomfly, thank you. Would I consider the Zoomfly 6? I mean, never say never, but the Zoomfly 5 didn't quite work for me. It wasn't quite what I wanted, but the big benefit was it did teach me to run differently. It does help you with your cadence because you need to be up on the toes, I think, to make this shoe work for me. What it did is it trained me to focus on cadence, to keep my legs moving quickly under my body. And as I say, legs felt pretty good the next day. So that's the Zoom Fly 5. This isn't so much a shoe review. This is me saying goodbye to it. I like to keep a catalogue of all the shoes I've used. No better way of doing that, I think, than a YouTube video. So in collecting that catalogue on YouTube. So if I ever wanted to go back and go, what was that shoe all about? There it is. Okay, thanks for watching. Stay in touch.